Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. 1. Nevada State Athletic Commission says that Adalaide Byrd, who turned in the controversial Canelo Golovkin scorecard, she coming back, y'all. Stay tuned. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family we working. Also, big shout out to MMAfighting.com. Link is in the description. They conducted an interview with Nevada State Athletic Commission Executive Officer Bob Bennett, who, if you remember, I remember because I was at the fight. I covered it as media, and he even got up on the podium immediately after Canelo versus Golovkin Part 1 concluded, because there were so many people that were hot and pissed with the scorecard that Adalaide Byrd turned in. Adalaide Byrd scored it 118 to 110 in favor of Canelo Alvarez winning, which meant that he won 10 rounds and Golovkin only won 2. And I'm going to save my thoughts. I'll save my thoughts for after I read what Bennett's talking about. So in this interview, he's talking about the scrutiny that she's received. And he says that they're still going to move forward, quote unquote, move forward with Adalaide Byrd. Bob Bennett says, if you're an athlete and somebody has a bad day, you don't bench them. You put them back to work, right? I'd say in the last 3.5 years, she's done a great job. I don't want to hear about 2012. As long as I've been here, she's done a good job. She's a great judge. One fight sure as heck don't define her career. We'll take it one step at a time. We'll make sure she's comfortable. We'll continue to move forward. She's been spot on in recent fights, and she's tough. I have a great deal of respect for her. She got raked over the coals, but she wants to come back. She's a warrior, and she still wants to judge fights. So, in layman's terms, I'm not the smartest brother in the world, but it sounds like, hey, shit changed. Nothing is happening to her. He's saying, hey, if you're a star athlete and you have a bad game, you don't just get benched. You know what I mean? You still get to play. So it sounds like Adalaide, the Beast Byrd, that's what I'm going to call her. You know what I mean? We got to give her a boxing nickname. Adalaide the Beast Byrd coming back on that ass. Now, I highly doubt she'll be back for Canelo versus Golovkin 2. I mean, that wouldn't even make sense, I mean, as a decision. But she'll be back, so it is what it is. Listen, I'm going to give my thoughts. First of all, I was at the fight, like I mentioned, live in the flesh, in the T-Mobile Arena. Electric atmosphere. I had a great time, great trip, and I'm glad I got to see a historic fight, and I'm looking forward to the rematch. I will say, from what I've seen, what I witnessed, to give either Golovkin or Canelo 10 rounds is egregious. I don't think either one of them did anything to warrant 10 rounds of peace. You know what I'm saying? Winning 10 rounds. Me personally, I didn't see it. Now, I get it. A lot of people had Golovkin winning. If you remember my post-fight live stream immediately after, I said it was a close fight, but I had Golovkin winning. You know what I mean? So I'm okay with Golovkin winning. I got to watch this fight again. You know what I mean? Because I've only seen highlights since. I haven't just made the time to just sit down and watch all 12 rounds since I watched it live. I've seen little pieces and rounds and Golovkin eating a punch that Canelo knocked out Amir Khan with and highlights and stuff, but I gotta sit down and probably rewatch this before the second one. But either way, I'm cool with Golovkin winning if that's what you had. I'm cool with Canelo winning. I'm really cool with the draw because, again, for me, I didn't see either person step on the gas in such a way like they've done in past fights to the point where I'm like, wow, this person really showed separation and pulled away. And it's boxing. Not every fight's gonna be like that. Not everything's gonna be cookie cutter clean. Like normally, guys like Andre Ward, they totally outshine and dominate their opponent. But when he got in there with Sergey Kovalev in the first fight, it wasn't as easy to decipher some of those rounds. You know what I mean? And that's what happens when you're fighting at an elite level. That's why when people say, hey, the best versus the best, that's why we want to see the best versus the best. Because when your competition is raised, you usually get really good competitive fights if people are stylistically on the same playing field and they both offer some different intangible. But either way, for me, I didn't see either guy just really go out and grab it. Like, you look at it, like, things Triple G is known for: cutting off the ring, being a good deadly body puncher, throwing a lot of punches that are pretty much accurate. Some of those things weren't present. Now, you got to give credit to Canelo's defense, his early movement, and just him being a good fighter. But Golovkin cutting off the ring didn't look good. Golovkin landed 8 body shots, which, if you put him in there with Macklin or Marco Antonio Rubio, those fights lasted a shorter amount of rounds, like let's say 3-4 rounds, and he landed more body shots, I'm sure, than he did in 12 rounds with Canelo. That has to show you something. Same thing with Canelo. Canelo languished on the ropes. He was visibly tired, you know what I mean? So Golovkin was working him and making him work. So there was little things that I seen from both where they didn't necessarily look like they did against lesser opposition. Like, this was no Canelo versus James Kirkland or Canelo versus Liam Smith, and this was no Golovkin versus Macklin or Rosado, Ishida, Adama. You know what I mean? It was clear that the level of competition and skill present was elevated for both fighters. But for me, I didn't see anyone just jump out the box and just like really take away with the fight where I'm like, wow, this person won. So as far as I'm concerned, ego. This is ego talking. Nobody won 10 rounds to me. I didn't see that. Now, some of the rounds are close. Canelo started off good in the first 3 rounds. And then Golovkin kept applying pressure. So, I mean, it's a tricky fight. That's why this needed an immediate rematch. As far as this Adalaide Byrd shit, I mean, I'm used to it. I'm a boxing fan. I've been a lifelong boxing fan. So, shit don't surprise me anymore. You know what I mean? Some of you guys, oh, how did she ever... Like, it's not even shocking to me that they would let her continue to judge fights. I mean, put it this way. If fighters maim or, you know what I mean? Some of these guys in the court of law, if this was anything, if this was like a criminal court and not a sport, some of these guys would be tried with attempted manslaughter. The guys that cheat, that do peds and get busted and wrap their gloves like Antonio Margarito. You know what I mean? That's basically attempted manslaughter because you're going into the Mosley fight, the Cotto fight, with the intentions of hurting somebody, and you know you're cheating and you know you're using plaster on your wraps to make your hits even harder. You know what I'm saying? That's clearly not fair. But Margarito got suspended and he was able to come, and to this day he still fights. And he got big fights after that. It's not like he just had to keep fighting in Mexico. You know what I mean? He got a Cotto rematch after the fact, right? He got to fight Pacquiao for a title after getting busted for this. So, you know what I mean? What the fuck is a judge who had a bad scorecard getting another opportunity to judge? I mean, when you got guys who like Alexander Povetkin, he failed 2 drug tests in a year, and he's about to fight on a big card with 70,000 plus people for Joshua versus Parker. You know what I'm saying? Povetkin's been back. He had a couple fights. You know what I mean? And he's, I guess somehow, I think the mandatory for Anthony Joshua. So if he knocks out David Price, which I think he will, you know what I mean, or at least beat him, then he, you know what I mean, he might be in a title contention. There's a guy who had Meldonian and adamantium and all types of shit in his system. So, you know what I mean, this whole judge shit doesn't shock me that a judge has a piss poor scorecard that a lot of people don't agree with, and now she's being brought back in and quote unquote they're gonna move forward. You know what I mean? Because they move forward with fighters who damn near cheated and tried to kill people. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not shocked by this. I'm not saying I like it. I'm not saying if I was in charge I wouldn't do things different, but I'm not shocked by it. Yeah, and Bob Bennett does have a point to a degree. You know what I mean? You can't be defined by one particular occurrence. You know what I mean? I don't know Adalaide, every fight she scored. I know this fight was a horrible job. You know what I mean? But I can't say that she's done that. I don't remember her name sticking out to the point where like every fight she scored was on some bullshit. You know what I mean? Just like I said, Ward Kovalev, that was a tough fight. but career-wise, Ward made a lot of the fights look easy. You know what I mean? So you can't just base his whole career on having a fight that was pretty tough, because not every fight was like that. You know what I mean? You could say whatever you want about Ward if, in fact, like all his fights look like that. You know what I'm saying? So she's back to work. It is what it is. I doubt she'll be present for Canelo versus Golovkin too. That to me wouldn't make sense, but there you have it. And see, this is another thing. A lot of people jumped up and up in arms and like screaming and like trying to get people to petition and, yeah, we're not gonna take it. We're not gonna take it. You know what I mean? And do all these like protests and shit of Adalaide, Byrd. But you have to understand boxing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Some people might be new here. That's why I didn't do all that. Like, I could speak my opinion and my thoughts on if it was fair or foul. But at the end of the day, it's not even worth it, because boxing knows the problems that it has, and they choose not to fix some of this shit. You know what I mean? There's been referees who constantly do a bullshit ass job, and they constantly get hired. What's the dude from Texas, Lawrence Cole? He constantly be fucking up, but he keeps getting jobs. You know what I mean? And there's refs, you know what I mean, that premature stoppage, always some controversy with the decision, but they still get jobs. You know what I mean? Same thing with judges. Levi Martinez had that crazy Canelo Lara 117, 111, and I seen him at a fight. Like, I was covering the fight as media maybe a couple months after that, and he was right there. And I even asked him about it. I got to find that footage. He didn't really say nothing, but I was like, hey, what do you think about all the people who are offended by your scorecard? I asked him that straight up. I pulled up on him. I got to find that footage. I got to remember what fight that was. But, you know what I mean? He was back into action immediately after, and everyone was pissed at that scorecard. So, boxing, they know what it is, but they just keep doing it anyway. That's what I'm saying. All these petitions and protests and, like, screams, it's not doing anything, because they're not choosing to change it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I didn't jump all out my skin and all that. So anyway, Adalaide Byrd is back. Excuse me, Adalaide, the Beast Byrd. So let me know your thoughts. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.